I'm currently stood in one of the busiest places in the game, and as you can see, there is absolutely nobody here. That is because we are currently stood on the Titania server on the Shadow data center, the third probationary data center added to the European region, and give people a place to go if they want to play with their light friends and they play on Chaos, and vice versa. Everybody going to Shadow allowed them to actually continue that because they actually temporarily turned off the travel between Chaos and Light directly for the launch of the expansion. This resulted in two things. One, you had a raid scene on Shadow for people who wanted to actually come from both of those data centers to actually raid together, but it also had the knock-on effect of people just not bothering and instead raiding on their actual data center. Now, this opened up quite a few interesting situations I noticed personally, where suddenly Chaos data center was alive again. There was plentiful groups. There was something like 68 progress groups at peak time. Those things dropped to like 40 outside of those peak times. It was actually quite healthy, and in most cases I would say that the majority of those party finder groups were exactly the same as if we had gone to Light to actually play. They are basically the same people. People who say that Light is the place to raid and Chaos is dead, I've got news for you. By saying that, all you do is you bring the problems to somewhere else. By saying that Light is the only place to actually raid, you've kind of disproved this, because as people were locked to Chaos and people were locked down to Light, the groups were actually very healthy, things were being cleared, it was your typical party finder experience, and personally, I think the game was better for it. If I had a choice to disable data center travel permanently and just have Shadow as a permanent probationary world, as in a world a set of worlds you cannot create characters on themselves, but you can travel to if you want to play with other people from other data centers, I would actually be happy. I think it proved to me as a concept that Chaos is absolutely fine, and so is Light. There is no need to segregate people to one or the other, for a specific type of content. That's what I'm getting at personally. Now, obviously, as these congestion issues eased up towards, the latter half of the expansion launch, as we came through the patch content, we finally got to the point where Chaos and Light can now travel, directly between each other. So obviously Shadow didn't have any groups at all running. They've recently announced as well that on the 16th of August at 3 p.m. GMT, they'll be permanently turning off the Shadow data center and its four worlds: Innocence, Pixie, Titania, and Tycoon. I personally hope that they have learnt a lot from this that they can utilize in multiple regions. I think that North America would benefit from a system like this much more than they do having, Dynamis as a permanent place, for example. Whilst a lot of people were excited at the prospect of starting anew and having a new data center, splitting the European population even further than it's already split between Chaos and Light, in my opinion, would be a terrible idea as a permanent situation. But as a temporary logical data center, I think it worked really well. This, of course, in addition to the other server congestion limiting factors, upgrading hardware, upgrading the data centers themselves, and all of the things that we probably don't know about that went on behind the scenes, meant that Dawntrail, for the most part, at least on EU, aside from one server on Light, did actually end up being one of the best launches they have ever had for an expansion. Now, I presume it's the same for North American, but I don't have any direct, experience in that, so you're going to have to tell me. So yeah, whilst I am obviously, sad to see the data center shut down, I think it served its purpose, and I hope that they learn from this and that they implement this again in the future. This could even be something I would personally like to see come back for major patch content, especially if there is a lot of content in that. If there's an alliance raid, for example, new raid tiers, things like that, I think that the benefit of this has certainly proven itself. And yeah, I prefer this system than having, just another data center that's there for people to go to and create characters. I prefer it just to be almost like a cloud server. I know it's not a cloud data center, and set of servers, but I think it works better. Let me know what you thought. Did you raid on Shadow? Did you group between Chaos and Light? Did you miss the ability to go to Light from Chaos? Did you find, like I did, that suddenly people who said that Chaos Data Center's Party Finder was dead and terrible were not there anymore and it actually was just fine? I don't know. Was your experience the same as mine? Let me know. But yes, so they're shutting that down on the 16th of August, which is a good point as well. If you are currently doing hunt trains, there's some people going for the hunt achievements in Dawntrail. This is a great opportunity to make use of Shadow as well. Hunt trains have been extensively using Shadow and its 4 worlds, which has obviously, you know, quadrupled the amount of hunts that we've had access to. And additionally, at the start of Dawntrail, we also had instancing as well, which is really, really cool. But yeah, make sure you get whatever you need to get done by the 16th of August because it's going away. But I hope it comes back in the near future in the same iteration because I think it was a great success. Anyway, much love and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.